you, Navneet, for being here.
I'm supposed to kiss you, it's holy.
Ah, really? And I'm supposed to do something else for you.
Okay, whatever you want to do. That's why I love Holi. It's the only festival where you can do whatever you want.
Thank you.
My mom would raise me that stay away from girls, you can't touch them, and you have to behave, and you know how conservative India is. They don't even allow kissing in the movies. But somehow 65,000 kids are born in India every day. I wonder what's happening 9 months before that. A child is born every 2.4 seconds in India. By the time you finish that sentence, one more's out. So here's the good thing about Indian festivals. By the way, I was told that there's going to be a lot of non-Indians there. You behave, talk good about India. Don't say anything bad about India. It's the first time many of them are coming to an Indian event. What are they going to think? And most of these events, when I'm called to speak, that's the only invitation I get, because after that, it's like, oh no, not Navneet, don't call him. So this is my only chance with you. I'm never going to see you again, so that's good. So here's a good thing about Indian festivals. You can talk to any Indian about any festival and ask them what it is, and you get a different answer. Like Smita explained to you today what Holi is. It's the first time I heard that definition and explanation. To me, it was always about there's no weed available in India. There's no like shops, and it's very expensive and very hard to get, at least when I was growing up back then, where everybody was poor anyways. But holy time, somehow, in this milk drink, this holy, not holy like HO, but like a complete nutrition meal holy, milk, there's weed everywhere. I don't know where it came from. So the only day the opposite sex person's allowed to touch the other person, like I kissed her, she was not going to allow that in any other occasion but Holi. And then you have this milk to give her, like, hey, let's share this weed milk, and somehow that was okay. So,
by the way, this is non-alcoholic without weed. The Tundai that I'm drinking.
Yeah, this is not in every place.
yeah, I don't know where you were going for Holi, but you see that? Everybody is drunk.
No, stoned. Better than drunk. Stoned.
Yes.
Oh, stoned, yeah. So, but it's a good festival. My favorite one. In my mind, when somebody said Holi, only two words came to mind: sex and drugs. But I don't want you non-Indians to think like that. We Indians don't act and behave like this. We're very good people, except for we just surpassed China as the most populous nation in the planet. Finally, we're number one in something. And 1.4 billion and counting. And no other country in the planet will ever be able to catch up with us. US, which is number 3 in the world, is only at 340 million people. And for some reason, the people in this country don't want to have kids anymore. So I'll spare my further talk about Holi, and I'll change to why I'm here, to introduce a very special guest. This person, believe it or not, we call him Mr. LA India. He's the first Indian that came to Los Angeles in 1958. And I don't know if, I've never met any other Indian, and I've been in this town for 40 years. I've never met any other Indian who came before 1958. Ken, you know most of the Indians in LA. Have you ever met anyone?
Dr. Marwa.
He came in what year?
I have to get back to you.
Okay, so since you're going to get back to me, our chief guest today gets the privilege of being the first Indian in town. He came here to US and then he did a bachelor's degree in India, and like all good Indians came here and did a master's degree in engineering from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And then he came to Los Angeles, worked for TRW. Remember TRW? Yeah, all of you remember TRW. Worked there for 20 years. And we call him the Renaissance man because he was working at TRW. His family had a velvet import business from India. They would import velvet. How many of you had a water bed like 20, 30, 40 years ago? Yeah, most people don't want to acknowledge that they did. I had one because I picked it up at a swap meet for 69 bucks. And so here he is working as an engineer at TRW and importing velvet from India, and starts to build a massive real estate empire. Of all the water bills that go out from city of Los Angeles, his water bill is amongst the highest because that's how many apartments he owns. And this started 50 years ago when you could buy an apartment for 300 bucks, I think, or 400. And so, but personal success and business success apart, what we cherish him the most about is all his social giving, all his life. Every event we do in town, we call him and say, Dr. Doshi, will you sponsor? He never says no. Thousands of events. He is set up a chair at UCLA for Ancient Indian Studies, a chair for Indian tradition here at LMU, a chair at MIU, Maharishi University that's based in Iowa, their big campus here in medicine. He's, I think, given $5 million for a new building for the School of Medicine. And just so he doesn't want to leave India alone, he set up a water studies chair at IIT, which is one of the best colleges in India, at IIT in Gandhinagar, and a chair of Indian studies at CIS in San Francisco. We're so proud of him that even though he's been in this country for 42 plus 23, 65 years, India has not left him, and he's supportive of everything we do. So we want to honor you today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Navin Doshi. Can you please come here? I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Thank you to Dr. Navin Doshi and Pratima Doshi.
Thank you so much.
Where is your wife?
She is doing her yoga. I want to say 2 or 3 things that probably hardly anyone knows about.
Yeah. We get you a microphone and come face the audience. Okay. Come here.
Right. Okay,
I'm in your will, right?
Yeah.
Me too, right?
Okay. The relationship between India and America goes long ways. You know the name philosopher from France, Voltaire. They were discussing where is the roots of the civilization. So Voltaire suggested India several hundred years back. But because the British were the rulers of India, they said no. So the roots came out to be in Greece. So that's one thing. Second, USA is responsible to getting the independence of India. Partly, of course, there were several factors, but one of the factors, there was a very strong Christian lobby in America, and they were quite influential. They put the pressure to Congress and to FDR that India must get its independence after the war. Why? Because Christians saw Gandhi in Christ's image. That's another thing. And of course, the British needed a big help from America to fight the World War II. And last one, cricket. The Hollywood actors, specifically the British actors, they were missing playing cricket. And so, I think it is North Hollywood, there is a big now there's a big league of cricket in the whole Southern California. I played cricket for 12 years for UCLA. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Doshi, for blazing the trail and making our life easier in Los Angeles. Thank you. We also want to give a wonderful shout out to a person who's helped us put this program together today. He is the Doshi Chair for Indic Studies at LMU and Professor of Theology at LMU. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us and for many, many years. And we appreciate all your help. Would you please stand and get a thank you from everyone?
Thank you, and welcome to LMU. Those of you who don't know, this palace was actually not built with academic money, but with government money. And this was the world headquarters for Howard Hughes. And thankfully, when the Cold War ended, we got it on fire sale. And we waited for 15 years and then took possession, and we're delighted to welcome you all into this space today. And I invite you to look at the beautiful gleaming rain upon the miles of granite that came from Karnataka to grace this building, inside and out. So you are in the midst of India, and we are so delighted that you're here with us.
Thank you, Professor Chappell. So some of you had asked about the LMU connection, and there it is. Professor Chris Chappell